Hey, it's a Flash After Show on AfterBuzz TV. Tonight, we're breaking down Season 2, Episode 20, called Rupture, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
To the end of time. Hello, it's the Flash After Show on AfterBuzz TV. Great song choice, guys. Who was this, Roxy?
Oh, this girl.
Thanks so much.
Oh my god. Guys, inner secret, it takes us so much time figuring out what song to start with.
You want to get the vibe right.
Yeah. It's not just the vibe, though. It's also the theme of the episode.
This was a great one.
Yeah.
Good job.
Kudos, Roxanne.
All right, guys, we're talking about Rupture tonight, episode 20. It was drama, capital D. We're going to break it down, but first we're going to start with some intros. Roxy, can you start for us?
Of course I can. Hi, guys. I'm Roxy Striar. You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar. And I'm in the chat right now talking to you guys on YouTube. You're going in already, so I'm excited.
And I'm Tauri Miller. You can find me at Tauri J, TAURI-JAY.
Hey, what's up? I'm Micheal Drew. You can find me on Twitter at Micheal_Drew, Micheal EAL.
And I tweet from Jeff Masters 1. I am Jeff Masters 1. As always, you can subscribe and comment on YouTube and iTunes. And if you're watching live, it's about 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Comment in on the YouTube chat. Roxy is looking at it right now. So the overall theme for much of this episode was, how do we get our powers back? It's the Flash, and we want the Flash to have his Flash powers. I really liked that we went to see Henry Allen to find this.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in a hot minute. And you think the theme is how do we get our powers, which I agree with, but I think it's also who do you take advice from? Who is your father figure? So I was really happy to see him back in the mix.
Okay, yeah. I mean, jumping ahead, we had that amazing scene with Henry, Joe West, and Harrison. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the three father figures and just so much like status in the room.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just like nobody who is like in charge in that group.
Absolutely. I thought that was one of the best scenes in the entire episode.
I know. And I like that he's hanging out at Walden too. It's like, what are you doing over there? Just kidding. He was in the Shire. Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
He made that quick little line about Jay Garrick, and he said, huh. And he said, oh, Garrick was my mom's maiden name. What could that possibly be like indicating?
No idea. I mean, I think we all looked at each other, though. We're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to wrap my mind around it.
Neither have I. Like, it could imply that either Jay and Barry are some way related, or that the Man in the Mask is related to them. It could also kind of imply that, like, what was... Oh, I just had it. Anyway, there's also the whole idea of the thing that people kept bringing in. It was like the blue speedster, who is Barry's half-brother in the comics, that everyone really wants to be a part of the show as well.
Yeah, I think that all the things you said are possibilities. I also think that it's interesting that Barry didn't know this already. I would think, I mean, if somebody mentioned this to you guys, oh, it's the maiden name of my mother, you guys wouldn't know your father's...
Oh, and I agree with you. However, he grew up and his father was in jail.
Yeah,
they didn't have those conversations.
Okay, I guess that makes a little more sense, but I still was like, but if we're going to buy it, I think it's interesting. It also, going back to the previous episode where I was a little concerned about the whole story, how we got his name, the man in the bench and all of that, and I was thinking, okay, so where does Jay Garrick come from? Now I think that we are going to get an explanation for that, so that makes me feel really good that something is coming. This wasn't just like a random thought.
I agree, but as far as we know, the Jay Garrick that we have met, the people named Jay Garrick are only from Earth 2. We don't know an Earth 1 Jay Garrick, so this is placing Garrick on our Earth, and I've not any kind of assumption. I have no assumptions.
Also, Garrick is like the most common name in Central City. There's John Smith and then Garrick.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting, though, that last week we got the information about Caitlin and about Caitlin, Killer Frost having a sibling that Caitlin didn't have. And this week we got the information about Cisco's brother also being on Earth too, and we got him here, and there's that. And now we're getting information about Barry Allen's dad's mom's last name. So it's like all of these things are coming out about people's families on this Earth and Earth 2. And it just reminds me that we're only on season 2 of the show. We don't know everything about these families. We don't know everything about these teams. There's so many more questions, which is really exciting.
Yeah, it's just a lot of little like baby maybe Easter eggs to be dropping in the last half of the season.
Yeah, but some of them not even so baby. Some of them like, oh, that doesn't seem like an Easter egg as much as an entire Easter egg hunt that I'm ready to go on.
I agree. I mean, we're going to talk about Cisco's brother Dante later, but I had no idea to expect that, and you, I think, were the one who last episode said, okay, his brother's coming in. We had the mention.
Definitely.
Crazy. So at one point they said that Henry Allen is back for good. I don't know. I'm doubtful.
Well, I mean, I think it's a good thing. I always like how Henry Allen comes in and he's like this sage over voice, you know, like he's always like this sage, like old wizard bringing like great knowledge upon everybody. And I think could be a clue that he might not make it past this season, past the end of the season, because I don't really know if he's really gonna become a member of the main cast.
You mean you think that the character will die, or that he'll have to go back home?
He might. I think he wants to stay, but I think he might die. But I think it's a clue to that, because I don't know if he's gonna become, because he has too many dads.
We're gonna orphan Barry though.
Well, you gotta. There always has to be something that pushes Barry, you know. So, I mean, he's been an orphan. It's not that big of a difference. Sorry, I mean, I don't mean for it to come out so negative, but
no,
you know,
you're fine. I mean, in like Joseph Campbell's hero journey, you know, someone has to die, like the mentor figure. But like you said, we don't know which mentor figure. There's the 3 in the room that we discussed earlier. I just think that having Henry Allen on the show is not sustainable. Because what role does he fill in within the terms of a makeup of a TV show? We have the father figure, we have like the mentor figure, and there's not room for another father figure. It's not what the show's about.
Right.
Well, with Wally being there, Joe might focus his attention more so on Wally, so now Barry can focus his attention more so on his father.
I don't know. I just think that the Joe West Barry Allen relationship is a heart of the show.
Right. Though Henry is very close to what Jay was being earlier in the year, in that he was very like the whole stalwart, more idealistic version. And so I think that's a nice dynamic for him to have kind of from afar, because we see that he kind of impedes progress a little bit, in that we are so stuck in a realistic universe with this Flash that bringing in this idealistic viewpoint kind of like hinders progress.
Yeah, he's safe. And that doesn't create excitement for the show.
I feel as if there's a massive use for him on the show to keep Henry. Yes, I think we absolutely need this right now for a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't feel like we have that character anymore who is questioning the safety of things. Obviously, Wells is like, all right, let's keep pushing this. You do this, Barry. You have no choice. Joe's like, things usually kind of work out. I don't know if you made the right decision. You'll never really know. You got to live with it. And Henry's coming in like, are you guys all insane? You're going to blow this thing up? Hello? You've been doing this for too long. Come on, guys. So I feel like he asks the questions that a lot of us audience members would be asking. And then also I think that if Barry is going to get closer with Iris in a romantic capacity, that we need to distance him from Joe as being his father, and therefore her being his sister, and say, you know what, Joe is a great mentor. Joe has been an incredible friend. He has raised him, but he is not his actual dad.
Yeah,
right.
So I think that we really need Henry right now.
I think that's a fantastic point in terms of the father figure role, but I think that Caitlin Standard usually plays that role of the like.
We don't
safer
have her
one.
right now.
She's in. Yeah, I mean, she's trapped in her little prison, but she's not going to be trapped forever.
Well, I mean, it looks like Zoom's trying to pull something out of her, so she might go in a different direction. And then if she goes in a different direction, that's even more reason to have Henry.
Abracadabra, I don't predict that we're going to see like the Killer Frost from Earth 2 on our Earth, like to that degree.
I agree.
I mean, but when he said it, like he had to have said it for a reason.
Right.
When Zoom was like, "It's inside you. I've seen your darkness. You got that Killer Frost in you." Like he wants to get that dark Romeo and Juliet thing going with her.
The reason is for us to be having this conversation. I literally think that's why. I think they want us to know, hey, just so you guys know, this is never off the table. It's always going to be there. You're always going to be sitting there wondering, is she possibly Killer Frost? Could she maybe get there?
And that's what makes it so interesting.
Right. So I think if we actually got her there, it would be like, wait, huh? No, because you can't really go there and then come back. What are you going to do, be Killer Frost and then like, actually not for me, killed all those people, did all those things, but now I'm just going to be Caitlyn again.
She could be in between.
I mean, that's
You
true.
know, dealing with duality of trying to be that, not trying to be that.
Yeah, bisexuality exists, guys. Stop arguing against it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see a non-powered evil Caitlyn. I mean, just to kind of like allow the actress to stretch a lot, and it would be good conflict. Like, I think it would be really entertaining to see her go down a different path, and she's smart enough to where she could be a threat.
And she has reason too. I mean, talk about somebody who's experienced a lot of loss.
Jeez.
She does have reason to go a little dark. It wouldn't be unjustified.
Right.
So I could see that, but I don't want to see her with all what we just saw on Earth 2.
Yeah.
Although that was fun, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sustainable.
I also think that from a viewer standpoint, Vibe's reverb character was so much fun to watch. And the Killer Frost on Earth 2, from my opinion, which is the only way I ever speak, I didn't love watching her, to be honest. It wasn't as fun to me.
I did love watching her. I did, but I wouldn't want to see her on our Earth. I liked being able to go there, get a dose of her, and then leave, which is why I was so upset by her death. And same thing with Reverb. I liked the possibility of them being out there, which is the great thing about having Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth 4, Earth Infinity. Like, we can keep going. So maybe at some point we do encounter another Reverb Killer Frost.
Absolutely. You know, since Harrison Wells from season 1 died, he was the leader of...
What?
Spoiler alert.
Are we all caught up? Sorry. Since he died, he was like the leader of the Scooby Gang. He was the one in charge. And now there's not any one key person. It's all, you know, a group. Everyone's on the same level. And I think that that really slowed down the progress tonight in wondering whether or not we should strike Barry with the lightning from the particle accelerator again. It had to be his choice.
Yeah.
And it's everybody giving their fact or their opinion and like what they think he should do. And while it's like his body and they're gonna let him do that because it's not a woman talking about abortion, you know. Sorry.
Well, it reminded me a lot though of the time that Barry was trying to make the decision whether or not to go back and save his mother. And he tried to get everybody's advice about it, and he finished on getting Iris's, which is what we saw again tonight. But I think, like you just said, this is his body. This is his world. This is his life. And I like the fact that we slowed this down and we had to get everybody's opinion. And he was taking things in because Barry isn't a know-it-all. He's not sitting there and claiming like, hey guys, I have all of the answers. All he knows is he's good at being the Flash, but he doesn't know if it's worth it at this point. So he has to figure it out. What is the safety involved here? What is it that we're actually doing? So I thought it was cool that we took a step back and we were like, all right, guys, let's poll the team. You know, it's like a Twitter poll. Everybody got to fill out their answer.
I think it started out that way, like it was all about his body, but then it kind of went in a direction where it got to a point where it was showing him that it affected everyone else a different way. And I think that kind of added an extra pressure on him with the situation with Iris.
Right.
Then his father, because now he's kind of, if it doesn't go well, he's going to lose his father, or his father's going to lose him.
Yeah.
Iris is going to lose another man that she just admitted to, hey, you know, maybe we are meant to be together, you know? So I think there was just so much pressure on him by the end of the episode. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And Barry always takes the world on his shoulders, which, I mean, it can be taken in a good way or a bad way, depending on how you view it. But I like that ultimately the decision wasn't, I want to be the Flash because it's great for me. It's because he's needed.
Yeah.
Absolutely, which is why I needed that catalyst there. All of the cops getting killed.
Woof.
I needed that moment. I needed him to see all of this. I needed him to ask the questions. I needed him to make the decision no and then change his mind, because this isn't him just sitting around being like, yeah, I want to be fast because it's cool, yo. Like, he needs to be fast. We need a hero.
And while obviously I'm not advocating to kill police officers, however, when
Jeff's crushing it tonight. Crushing it with the references.
Thank you, Roxy.
You're so welcome.
Stop it. When Zoom went in and killed everybody, it got dark so fast, and it just raised the stakes in such a necessary way.
Yeah.
And that's what I was needed. So that when Barry reclaimed the powers of the Flash, or decided to try at least, that it was kind of like the only possible option.
It made sense. He had already exhausted every other option, and now guess what? You got to do this, even if it means that you poof into something.
Yeah.
Whatever. We'll talk about that.
Talk about it.
That
Yeah.
was dark though, wasn't it? Like it got really dark when that
yeah.
happened.
This show has gotten very dark in the last
I didn't
couple
expect
weeks. For a CW show, for Flash, which is very campy and light in tone, I actually love that they're incorporating that dark layer. And of course, that comes with Zoom, who is a very dark villain.
And I don't think it's too dark.
No, absolutely not.
No, it's just what we've been waiting for the whole season.
Of course, an Arrow fan would say that.
I mean, yes, I like Arrow because every episode the stakes are high, and they usually don't tend to hang out in the campy area, which is nice for drama. But at the same time, like we have this villain who is a threat worldwide. Like he could essentially kill everyone at the same time if he wanted to. And now we get to see that and we get to feel it, and we have the added layer of him being this character that we've known for so long, and he has the layer of being in love with this girl and trying to selectively spare people. So like having all of that weight, now we can kind of push through it and like experience it firsthand, and I like that. I like the darkness because you can't lock up the darkness.
Yeah.
I completely agree, and I also think not just for our characters, Flash and Iris and Joe and all of them, but for Zoom, for us to understand him, we needed to see this character choice to kill all the police officers and do that, because every story we know from Zoom kind of was an Earth 2 story. We heard that he had done this, and he took Jesse, and he's done things to Wells, and we saw him ragdoll Barry, but this was huge. We see what he's capable of, and he's kind of showing, hey, this is what I can do. You guys are powerless against me.
And I love the speediness of the moment where he did it within a matter of a second, and then as viewers it was like, did he just? Oh.
And then it drops.
That
Yeah,
pause.
I agree.
I thought he was gonna get Joe. There's a fear of me in me that I thought they were gonna have one of those Game of Thronesy moments where he just gets Joe.
Michael, same.
I was like,
I freaked out, wrote it down, and then crossed it out, and
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like, phew.
I even thought it was gonna be Joe and Sing at the same time.
Yeah.
I thought Sing was gonna get it when you had Sing.
Well, he did get it, and then he didn't get it. Like, he was this
Yeah.
close. But Joe, I thought Joe was going to die at the end
Yeah.
of season 1. So every day we've had with Joe has been a day that I
Borrowed
didn't
time.
think we were going to have.
Every day is a blessing.
Yeah.
I know that like killing characters that we care about makes us like feel emotions, which I'm used to, I promise. However, if killing characters that we love so much as Joe West, I just can't see it being in the cards.
Because you don't think it's right for the show, or because you don't think they would make that decision?
I think it's unfair to viewers who tune into your program every week, hopefully, and they fall in love with your characters, and then to be denied someone as that we love so much.
Unless it enhances the show. Unless his death is what we need, which, by the way, I don't believe it's what we need.
Yeah.
But that's when I think that it's acceptable. And it's been a long time since we've had a major death. Do we even count Wells as a death, considering Tom Cavanagh stayed on the show?
Okay, we have to talk about something that might be considered a spoiler, but it's the word possible is included in it. Tom Cavanagh had an interview this week. Did you guys read it? And he said that it is possible that we will lose a core member of the cast in the finale of this season.
Yeah.
Although he is a jokey person, and he did say it's possible, so obviously we knew that was a possibility, so he's not confirming anything. I don't know if he's trying to lead us on or not.
On some Earth, somebody died.
Right. You know, I can see Wells getting it. I can see Wells biting the bullet in the end of this season.
Oh, does getting it mean dying?
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Like, because usually when somebody's doing something good, I'm like, get it. Does
Yeah.
that mean, like, I
Well,
want you
getting
to
it could mean a lot
Oh,
of
she
things.
got it.
Yeah, it could
Oh,
be
that's
that.
like she died?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It
just
could be-
not hip with the times.
I mean, that would be a really good arc for his character, because he's been real selfish the whole season, and that's like the whole purpose of his thing is to be the badass rogue. And so having him either sacrifice himself or give his life for something greater than himself would be a really great way to kind of route out his character.
Yeah, I
I'm
can see
sure
that.
they'll find another way to
Him
bring
or
him
Henry.
I kind of feel like it would be anticlimactic. We've already killed him. We killed him. It was gone. Goodbye.
Yeah, but
now we brought him back. Obviously, not really brought him back. He's a different character, but the actor's still there. And then to end this season the same way that we ended the previous season, okay, he's dead. To me, I think that's silly. I would rather see one of Barry's other 2 mentor figures die if we're going to see one of them die.
Well, he's done such a good job of playing this version of Wells that I don't even associate him with season 1 Wells. And not only that, when season 1 Wells died, he died with turning back to the original
Eobard's
character
face.
to Eobard's face. So technically, Eobard Thawne died, and even
You don't think that's a little bit of a stretch that you don't associate them? They both do the exact same thing for Barry. Tried to make him faster, try to increase his speed, are giving him tough love. Even though the old Wells had ulterior motives, they interacted with him very similarly.
this one's so so much more douchey and less helpful. You know what I mean? In terms of
he's
mentors.
less dutiful. But like, I think that the way that they die and having it be different is enough to make it mean something to me. Because though I was close to Eobard's Wells, I think that this Wells has his own. He has his own like flair, and I like him in a different way. And so to see him actually arc would be really fulfilling to me. Whereas like,
But what would that be
anyone
a
else-
catalyst for, Tauri? Like, how would that help Barry grow, or what would it do?
Because one of the themes about this season has been that people don't change, and maybe that's been on Arrow. I don't know. But
In this universe.
Yeah, in the universe, a big theme is that people don't change, and I feel like seeing him change shows Barry that he could be a different hero, and like that, like, because I feel like anyone else dying would just be audience bait. It would be like, oh man, you lost this person, but having Wells specifically die shows change.
It can also help be a catalyst for Jessie Quick, for Jessie to become who she is going to become.
But she's not a main character to need to give her a death to be a catalyst.
I just don't think we're gonna need that as a catalyst, because we'll talk about what her big character change is going to be.
Right.
Yeah, this is a great discussion. I don't want to cut it off, but I'm going to.
Yeah, that's your job.
I have
You
a
go,
question.
ma'am.
Caitlin posed to Zoom, what do you want? You know, comparing him to the season 1 villain, Eobard Thawne, it was all about the personal vendetta of across time and space about beating the Flash. And as far as we know, correct me if I'm wrong, Zoom just wants to like destroy everything and everyone. And I don't know if that's as interesting of a character.
Power. He wants power and respect. He wants to feel in control. We saw from his past that there was a time in his life he couldn't control anything. He couldn't save his mother, similar to Barry.
Okay, but do you think that's interesting to watch as viewers?
Yeah, I really do.
Really, I just think moving from
Yeah.
Earth to Earth with the most power of all worlds and destroying each one isn't interesting.
And now we got a little more of an answer tonight when he says, I don't want to be lonely anymore, which is what I felt like, okay, because I've been thinking, not why is he doing these things, but what is he doing with Caitlin? What is this whole thing? Why is he bringing her around? Does she remind him of the mom? Is he romantically invested in her? Is he just like using her as leverage? Is he messing with her? I had no idea. But I think he was being earnest tonight when he said, I don't want to be lonely. So some sort of connection there too.
And he's only conquered one Earth. I mean, by the second or third Earth, he might get tired. No, I mean, like he might get tired. Like, all right, I don't feel like this is filling my hole anymore. Like, I don't. Well, sorry, that came out kind of crazy. But I don't feel like this is filling my hole anymore. So I don't know what else I'll do. But you know, I think by the third Earth, he might switch the goal. It would still entail murdering, but it wouldn't be, world domination so much.
I mean, I agree with Roxy. Sorry,
No, well,
Michael
sorry.
Drew, but I really do think that I feel like he's a child kind of playing in a sandbox, and everyone has a sandcastle. So as many castles as there are, he's going to kick them over to try to make people either worship him or love him. I mean, that's
feel the pain that he's felt too.
right.
He's evoking emotion
Yeah.
one way or another. I agree.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying watching it, especially because I still have no idea how we're going to stop him. Because we all agree, I'm sure, that eventually we have to stop him.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
that will be the end of the show, and he takes over Earth 2, and it's like, Earth 1, and he's like, all right.
I mean,
That was fun.
Speaking of stopping, and we're beating around the bush of what happened at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into it.
Okay.
So
All right.
to speed things along, we decide, yes, we want to do use a particle accelerator / lightning / chemicals from the fingerprint lab to recreate this disaster. And while there are
Back to the Future style.
yeah, there's an infinite number of things that could go wrong, which nobody poses, and then they go wrong, as far as we know.
Right.
Not impressed.
No, I think this is amazing. I don't know if they necessarily went wrong. They didn't go right, but
I mean, but what's right? I mean, it could. I think it's gonna go right. It just
What's right is he is alive.
Yeah, but I mean, he's gonna live. He's not dead. He just looks dead. He's gonna live. He's alive.
that's exactly what I mean. The worst case scenario is he's dead. Like Princess Bride says, not mostly dead, it's partially dead.
Right.
So like this guy is somewhere. Barry is somewhere.
Yeah.
He's in a universe of sorts. So it didn't go completely wrong. It's just not as easy as we would hope. But this is the coolest thing that's ever happened on the show. If it's going where I think it's going, which is like mind blowing.
Where do you think it's going?
We're gonna have 3 speedsters made from the particle accelerator.
Yes.
As Jeff says, yes,
Yes.
Daddy.
It's not Daddy. It's Dottie.
Dottie.
Dottie. Yes.
No, Daddy.
Right. I feel deprived that Jesse and Wally were locked up together in the closet and there was not a kiss.
I wish there's more more chemistry with them there, like more scenes.
You thought there was gonna be a kiss? They were
Yes.
like, they're not out drinking and hanging out. They're
No.
like stuck in the.
The world is ending and you have a very attractive person
Yeah.
across like the room from you.
Oh my God! I was
No.
not feeling that.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
I'm from the East Coast. There's a lot of hurricanes there. That's what happens.
yeah.
Random
Hurricane
makeouts.
season leads to baby season.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm from the East Coast too, and I've never been stuck in a room during one of them.
You've been in the wrong room.
Yeah, clearly. I gotta get in the right room.
Excuse me, I'm from the South.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I would have liked to have seen more Wally and Jesse time, like just a little more moments where you see that there's a vibe between them.
Hey, we got time.
Yeah.
That's how I'm with you. I want to see more of them, and I'm down for the ride, but I want it to be a ride. I don't
Yeah.
want it to be like, let's jump right into this,
Well, there's all that need for speed talk. Like,
I loved it. I loved the drops.
Yeah.
yeah, I need him to get powers this season if we're
Yes.
gonna talk about it that much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
I love the clues, like when Joe was talking to him about like, oh, you have a need for speed. Like I feel like I need to do more with my life. I'm like, yes, yes, yes,
Yas.
yes,
Yes.
While we're yossing,
Yes.
there's one big moment that we have to address. The Iris Berry moment.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yes.
Hashtag West Island.
Hashtag. I'm obsessed with the fact that she started the conversation and that she led it with her I love you speech. I'm not obsessed with the fact that there wasn't an answer because this is TV and you have to continue the conversation.
I don't even think that. I love that, Jeff.
Yeah, me too.
Really?
I love
Yeah.
that he didn't just immediately say yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
because then he's not thinking things through.
There's so much on his plate.
Yeah. She dropped it at the worst
I
moment.
know.
She did.
Oh, no, it was the perfect moment. There was not a better moment.
It's both of those things.
Jeff
It
loves the
was-
drama.
It was both
You also
the
said like
worst-
dead and not dead.
but it was both the worst moment and the best moment, because it's the worst moment like, all right, we have things to do right now, Iris. Like, we can't
Yeah.
deal with this right now. But it's also the best moment because it could be the last moment. And that means, all right, you have to do it now. This is the time where you're talking to him and saying, you always have something to come home to. And if he didn't hear this speech before he went to this other universe place that he is in, then there's nothing to come home to.
Oh, you're
so
right.
I feel like it was the only moment, but also the worst moment, but also the best moment.
You could also argue that if you didn't hear that speech, he probably would have just gone and did the powers, and the cops would have been alive. Right? Yeah, that's why he didn't go do
Wait, and did the powers? What?
No, I think he means he would have just become the Flash again. He would have done the particle accelerator thing.
It took the cops dying for him to go do it. But if she didn't, I think it was Iris telling him what she told him that made him say, you know what, maybe
I didn't feel that way. I feel like he really took everybody's voice in. and
everyone's
then-
consideration.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also, I love the way the actual script in that scene. Just the way that they communicate is so honest, and it feels really healthy, which I know is such a weird thing to say, but she spoke her mind, was clear and concise, and I like that he's asked about when I proposed to this to you last season, and she said timing wasn't right, and that's true.
Yeah.
That's the honest truth. And I like seeing that. I don't like when people are like, oh, like I like didn't think of you that way. No, you did, but you had a boyfriend that you were engaged to. So like that the conversation made sense to me.
Which means she has morals too, which is good.
Yeah.
Also, and then the whole time she's wearing that beautiful white lace shirt that looks like a wedding dress.
And those leather pants, though. You're kidding me. Every week
I'm
I
making
feel
a
like
wedding metaphor. Come on.
that's true. But every week I come in, I'm like, oh my god, Iris is so hot. But oh my god, she's so hot.
Yeah.
She looked incredible in that top and those pants. But what you just said reminded me of when Barry said it to her when she was engaged and she's got all these things going on, or she was about to be engaged. That was the worst timing too. Like, pay back.
Okay, but they're both single this time.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of like the 1940s, blank and blank is going off to war and his high school sweetheart is like, okay, but I have to tell you.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think of me fondly.
But I'm still glad that they're drawing this out. It wasn't like he ran into her arms and kissed her. It's making everybody get on board for #West Allen. Like every person now is like, okay, are we there? Is this going to be the episode? When are we going to get there? And so now it's like, I feel we really built that anticipation.
Yeah, and I jokingly said that like he didn't give an answer, but I mean the answer is let me come up with it. You caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Listen, we didn't talk that much about the actual Rupture superhero, Cisco's brother. I feel okay about that.
I like his weapon. I thought
Was
his
there
weapon
anything
was really,
else you guys wanted to add? The scythe?
The weapon was ill.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I like that it built their relationship. Like, Cisco and his brother, because we left the last episode thinking they're going to be best friends, and human relationships don't really happen that way. You go through a thing, you have a great time, but then, like, you're still who you are at the end of the day. And so I like that this kind of helped Cisco see that like how much he cared about his brother, and helped his brother see that like their relationship is worth building.
Yeah.
Completely, but it's going to absolutely depend on how we handle this moving forward. If this is the last we see of Dante again for weeks, and we for the second time are thinking they're going to be close, and we don't see him, we don't hear from him, Cisco doesn't reach out, I'm going to get annoyed. Because I'm going to be like, all right, every time you come together, oh my God, we're going to work on this, and then you don't. So I love this as long as we keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
I disagree because on a personal level, I find his brother annoying, to be completely honest.
Yes.
Well, it's hard for us to think about the brother as anything but that because we love Cisco so much. If he doesn't love Cisco, it's like, what's wrong with you?
No, I disagree because Cisco is friends with everybody and so loving, and yet we don't see that side of him with his brother, so it's inherently interesting to watch. It's like, oh my God, this whole dynamic of the Cisco is switched, and yet I still find that I'm annoyed by the brother. And I don't know if it's like the script or if it's the actor I don't care for, and I don't know what it is, but I'm not gelling with it.
I think he was made for you not to like him. Like, in everything that he did, it made for an unlikable character. He calls, or he goes and meets up with Cisco and talks crap about him. He
wants Cisco to pay for him.
Yeah,
But I don't like love to hate him. Like a lot of
You're not
characters, like they're made to not like, and I don't.
Well, he's not a villain.
Yeah.
So you're not going to love to hate him like Zoom or like,
Yeah.
you know.
Or like a Joffrey or anything like
Yeah.
that. Like he's made to be antagonistic, but he's not made to be like someone you're like, oh man, I hate this guy, but I wanna
Right.
like be around him.
Yeah, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but I think if it done well, the like antagonistic character can still like not make you grow and like, oh, another scene with him.
Right.
We'll see how it goes. We haven't gotten a lot of him, so.
Yeah. He has
Yeah,
an arc
and I
yet.
think that's pure like personal perspective, and by perspective I mean feelings.
Yeah, you don't have those. So.
Guys, stop it. We have to jump to predictions right now.
Hold your breath.
Now, your AFTERBUZZ TV
Predictions. So before we get into where we think Barry is in the world / galaxy / Earths, spoiler again, not really, but maybe it's a spoiler. For the finale / ending episode, Zoom is said to be coming to our Earth with a fleet of metahumans.
That's epic.
And one of them is the doppelganger of Laurel from Arrow.
Ooh.
What?
Yeah.
She
It's
was
Black Siren.
her Earth 2 double.
Oh, wow.
And next episode is directed by Kevin Smith.
Yes, Kevin Smith.
Why is
my
that so
God.
funny, Roxy?
Because she just like
Died.
it's just like the character, those two sisters won't go away. And I don't mean like I want them to, it's just like the most resilient sisters of all time. Like kill us, but we are here to stay. So it just makes me laugh. I'm excited to see it though.
Cool, yeah.
I just want her to go on Arrow and then die in front of Detective Lance again.
Yeah, and then like have the Lazarus pit come back and bring them back and have her die again, and then maybe have her time travel.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Okay, so focusing us on next week's episode, what do y'all think is going on?
Can I talk about predictions in general for the next couple weeks?
Roxy, talk about whatever you want, baby.
Okay, so I tweeted this out, but we're getting the big three. We're going to get Barry and Wally and Jesse Quick as speedsters. Absolutely, it is happening. But the bigger question is, who is Jay Garrick, and is he a speedster? Jay Garrick must exist. We know Garrick exists. Maybe it's a nickname. Maybe it's a J short for Jason, whatever it is. But is there another speedster? Is he under the mask? Is there... what exactly is going on here? So I think we might end up with 4 speedsters. 3 of which are definitely going to try to take down Zoom. If we have 4, all 4 of them are going to go after Zoom. And it's going to take all of them to conquer him.
Tari,
Wow.
going off of what Roxy's saying, is there any precedence in the comics for Jay Garrick being Zoom?
For Jay Garrick being Zoom, no.
Okay, because so that is why I predict. Yes, finish.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I predict, based on the Jay Garrick speedster stuff, that Jay Garrick is the man in the iron mask, and that Jay Garrick and Zoom are not the same person.
No, right. That's what
Yes.
I'm saying.
About the man in the iron mask?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Did
I'm
you
going to
say
take
that?
that further and say that the man in the iron mask, being Jay Garrick, is Henry Allen.
His name is Jay Garrick.
His name is Jay
He
Garrick.
is the appearance of Henry Allen.
Yes.
He's in the Iron Mask. Is he a
Yes.
speedster?
Not a speedster.
That's not.
So why would Zoom have him in the Iron Mask then?
Well, I also had a second theory that I'm still trying to see if it makes sense, but I think that Henry Allen is going to end up being Henry Allen on Jay Garrick in the mask is going to end up being Zoom's father, but he's also going to be in the form of Henry Allen.
So Henry Allen is both of their fathers, but his name is actually Jay Garrick.
Right.
But then why would the son's name be Hunter Solomon?
He was adopted.
No, not on that Earth. And if you were adopted on that Earth, then your name would
My
still
brain.
you still have the same last name as your
crumbling.
parents.
Again,
We're
it's
just
a
thinking out
working
loud.
theory.
Yeah, we're thinking out loud.
But so that's the theory that in some way, shape, or form, Barry and Zoom are related
Okay.
Wow.
by
What
way
do you
of
got for us?
convolution.
That was a lot. That was a lot. Walls is gonna die. All right, that's it. That's
Fantastic.
all I get.
Okay, tell me really quickly. At one point, Captain Singh said to Rupture, like, you're going to Iron Heights and you're not going to like it. Does Captain Singh and the police force, are they in on Iron Heights?
Yeah,
They are.
that's where they've been sending metahumans.
On Iron Heights, yes. But Singh doesn't know about our team.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Iron Heights is our...
It's not the pipeline. Iron Heights is our prison.
Oh, I was thinking he was saying pipeline. I said, how does he know about the pipeline?
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been sending everybody to Iron Heights. You know?
Wow, there's so much coming up.
Kevin Smith episode. Super excited.
I have no idea what to expect. Guys, I just said everything I've wanted to say. Does anybody have any last minute things to chime in before we say our goodbyes?
I've listened to the Kevin Smith podcast, Fat Man on Batman, and he recently had an episode where he talks about his experience on Flash, and he makes it sound so awesome. When he tells this funny story about how he gets to see the Barry Allen, you know, the zoom in when he comes in from running, and then
Yeah.
he tells this funny story about seeing how it's actually done. So I would really recommend go listening to it, and I'm really excited to see what he does next week.
Cool. Yeah, we'll check that out. What's the name of that podcast?
Fat Man on Batman.
That's very funny.
They have a great intro song too.
Awesome.
Nice.
Cool. Let's say our goodbyes. Where can we find you till next time?
You can find me on Micheal_Drew at Twitter, Micheal EAL.
Sweet. I tweet from Jeff Masters 1.
I tweet from Tauri J, TaurijAY.
You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
Guys, I'll see you next week. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bye. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.